Okay, so some of you have requested this whole, moving out from home, what's it like? So, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Actually, I just opened up my journal. I finished it. So it's done. This is the journal from May 2024 when I first moved to Berlin, when I was living in a hotel that I was working at. So the way that I moved here was I applied for a job from Ecuador to Berlin. I had an online call and everything, and I was like, all right, yeah, I can do it. And then they were like, all right, we need you here in like a few weeks. I was like, okay. And so I got there and I was like, okay, I'm just going to live out at the hotel and then I'm going to eventually find an apartment. I was supposed to save money for that apartment, but I didn't. I bought this microphone and this camera, and I spent $200 on a course I didn't really get much out of it because I didn't have the time or didn't spend the time in it, but I got enough. And I also got a sign that I'm heading towards the right direction. And I kind of spent all my energy into healing myself, fixing myself, working on myself, as well as, just getting comfortable with being in front of a camera and coming up with ideas, and just fucking starting a newsletter. Like, what the fuck? Never having written anything, never having read books, really. Like, maybe for school, but that was about it. And it was also the time where I started to invest my money in myself rather than buy things for myself. And there's a difference, like, if you invest your own money in yourself, then it means that you're using your money wisely. You're rather than getting short-term gratification, you're kind of. Thing is also like, there's a two-parter. It's one like, oh, I'll never get that money back. I'm kind of wasting it if I just get this thing. Instead, I could save it, or I could buy myself this really cool video game, or this, like, I don't know, I can get myself a Nintendo Switch or whatever, or I can get myself a an, an RGL. Dude, I remember, okay, to be fair, I remember I was standing there almost crying because I had quit everything. I had quit video games. I had quit doom scrolling, watching YouTube videos. I didn't do anything fun for like months. Like I cold turkeyed everything that was fun. I deprived myself of fun. This was a few months ago. I think probably like 5 months ago. And no, I don't even remember, dude. My time thing is like completely fucked. But anyways, so yeah, just like I started investing my money in myself, like, like skincare stuff and like gym memberships and all this stuff. All because I thought this is gonna work out, and it did. But not to say that I've made a lot of money from it. I've made some money. You can just build things online and you can make a little bit of money, and that's a sign of like, what the fuck, how, it's incredible. But anyways, yeah. So I lived in a hotel for 6 months. I hadn't made any money there yet. I did have my first sales call there in the hotel, which was awesome. No prior experience. If anything you can take away from this is like, I kind of created a zone for myself. So I eliminated all distractions, started waking up at 5 a.m, went to sleep at 9 at night, didn't go out, didn't party, didn't meet up with people, and it was all just I'm going to stick with myself for as long as I have to, so that I'm no longer needy, desperate, weak, brittle. And yeah, I mean, I was out for discomfort. That was the mission. I was on a mission. And luckily, I found an apartment. When I found that apartment, I lost my job. I didn't pass the test. There's a 6 months probation time or testing time, and I didn't pass. And so I was like, okay, well, I saved up a little bit of money. I have enough money for like 1 month. I need to figure out how to live on my own in a new place, feel somewhat at home. Like I'm starting from scratch, like from zero. And that is just like, there's something so exciting about that. Like it's really like a dream come true. Like all of it is a dream come true. It's the adventure. It's an adventure. Figuring out how do I fucking feed myself? How do I do the laundry shit? And luckily, I have a really nice apartment, all things considered. I barely made it on time to the interview. And it's in those moments of like in the movie where it's like you barely make it. Like, and then you just kind of like fucking throw it all on the table. It's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Good first impression, this and this and that. And then I walked out and I was like, I remember telling my mom, like, look, if I don't get the apartment, it was not meant to be. And to be honest, I didn't really have any other options at that point, So I just, around here somewhere, sat down, grabbed a beer, and I just trusted. 30 minutes later, I get a text. I got the apartment, which is where I am now. And this room was completely bare, stripped down, like white, and there was nothing in it. I don't know if some of you have seen it. You could probably see a little bit, like one in my story on Instagram of me writing the newsletter on the bed. There's just something so fulfilling with building shit, coming up with shit, and creating stuff without any fucking know-how and just fucking going for it. And I mean, it's incredible what you can do. And I've made money online. Like, let's just let that sink in for a fucking second. Like, I never even thought it's fucking remotely possible. It to some extent. Like, I knew, well, no, because I mean, obviously I wanted to do it, but like, I don't think I've tried making videos and creating content for so long. Here's look, let me show you something. I just found by accident this was my old Twitch channel, okay?
You guys are fucking mad.
And this is where I reached 50 followers, not even subscribers. I was playing Overwatch, and
This is not happening. This is not happening. We literally just hit. Let's go!
and by the way, I did have a broken nose and I had a surgery because I couldn't breathe. I was a big XQC fan at that time. If anybody of you know, then you know. But yeah, I knew that I needed to change, I never stuck with it, with the Twitch thing. If you guys want, I've thought about maybe doing some live streams. I've been doing some on Instagram, and they've been great. So maybe we can do something. Maybe we can figure something out. Maybe with some games as well. I don't know. It'd be fun. If maybe I could play with other people, and that would be really cool, I think. something incredible that happens once you kind of have an audience is you can connect with other people, and that is just incredible. That's amazing. You get to talk with other people that are maybe trying to do the same thing as you, or they're just a bit different, or it's really, really remarkable. And I am just so fortunate to have had the privilege to speak to some of you, and actually I've met actually some of you in person, and that was really nice too. Surreal and nice, and I guess sometimes I don't really know how to make sense of it all, because I'm still kind of working a normal job, and I'm working myself up there, and I'm mastering that job as much as I can, and it's part of the plan, and I'm doing pretty good at that. And there's a plan in there, and well, it's another different topic, but anyways, so yeah, I got to this apartment, and let me tell you, I mean, especially in winter and so on, like, I made a few trips to IKEA, and every time they were so worth it. I love IKEA. IKEA, if you're watching this, okay. But yeah, one time I went to my grandma's house, and I actually sat in the train for 7 hours without a phone or a laptop or this thing. Usually I remembered going on holidays and with me and my brother and obviously my family, my parents. It was my dad, my mom, and my brother, and we would go to my grandma's house and get fed really great food and just play, and go to my cousin's house and just play video games for like 10 hours straight, and go to I always was a big fan of like survival stuff, and I would go into the woods, and with my knife and shit, and oh man, like those were times. Like, fuck, I mean, I feel like there's so many things I could do right now, but I need to build. I need to build the business. I want to, I'm sacrificing the present moment. I've sacrificed a year and a half. I can sacrifice a little bit more, until it's fucking done. Yeah, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do this time around? Like, I bought myself this thing. I haven't really used it. It's my grandma's house. I'm just going to go, and because I needed a break. I was a bit kind of close to burnout, just going to work, back home, train, and then figure my shit out. The thing about this content is that, like, it's so personal, and it's so much like about my own self-improvement. So it's like I'm kind of like just like documenting my own self-improvement, like, which kind of makes it tricky, I guess. But then again, I'm very fortunate. And yeah, it is scary, of course, to put yourself out there. But yeah, just building shit. If you ever want to do that, you should do it. You're missing. You're missing out. And yeah, I mean, that's been pretty much it, I guess. I've just been mastering slowly the art of being alone, in some sense. I kind of skipped the whole emotional toll that it has of just being alone and slowly becoming an adult. I completely ignored it, just because I was just so focused on chasing the dream, and there's a great saying that is, I have it in Hero Academy, by the way, if you're looking to see how I found my own vision. But there's a great quote He who has a why to live can bear almost any how by Nietzsche. And I haven't really read Nietzsche, by the way. I still suck at reading, by the way. But I'm still buying books nonetheless. um, Fucking hell. Yeah, so just this room has changed a lot. Yeah, because when I came back from my grandma's house, I just broke down in tears, man, because I walked into this room and I was just so filled with stress. Like it was just like it felt like I was living in a pale white like laboratory, like being watched. Because what goes through my mind every day, 24/7, is okay. I need to wake up at this time. I should go and do this. I should go and do this. I should go and do this. I should go and do that. I'm supposed to do all these things. I need to be, fucking rigid as fuck and disciplined as fuck. And sometimes I've been able to do that, yeah. It got really, really, really bad, to the point where I started like running, at just unreal times just because I don't know if there was like a side effect or not, but I started feeling like the way I was compensating for feeling like for failure was to put myself through pain. That was, that was the how I would make up for my own failures. And there's some badass thing to it for sure. But, there's something to be said about how it's easier to do things or be disciplined in a way, if you feel like you're the main character and so on and so forth. And it's kind of cool. Like for me, if, like I did in winter, when it was winter, and now winter is coming soon around again. Oh, and it's actually quite nice right now. Like, it's kind of cozy. The vibe right now is really cozy. It's very nice. But, I'm also kind of, I noticed that I've been avoiding, I wouldn't say talking out of my ass, but just kind of following my own thoughts. And by that, I've been avoiding discovering or rediscovering who I am or who I am becoming. It's quite, it's not good. It's not good. There again, it goes to show how hand in hand my content goes with me as a person and my own personal growth. But anyways, in winter, I would run in shorts and a t-shirt and no socks. And I would freeze. But that was the challenge. That was the epicness to it. And yeah, it's awesome. And so it's easy for me to like do things like that because it's like, it's badass. It's fucking cool. Like to some people it might be stupid, but to me it's fucking badass. It's awesome. And the way that I would challenge myself is like, I'm gonna run. There's a circuit. I have to finish it. And the only way to warm up is through running faster. And I would have to try and come back before my hands would freeze, because they would freeze. Like if you're in winter, they freeze, and so you can't open the door. I never got to that never to that like extent. I think one time it was like really difficult for me, but those challenges, those things are like fucking important. And now when it was summer, I started wearing a weighted vest so that I would kind of make up for the switch. Maybe I should have become an athlete or something. I mean, there's still time, but yeah, anyhow. Here's a great map that I made, which I should probably reiterate, but it's the map of like what's within your control and what isn't. So it's just like, I'm a very, like the thing about having a journal is like the amount of what you get out of it just from pouring down ideas and, fucking like just yeah. Oh, yeah. That's I had a goal to post 100 videos by the end of the year. Well, that never happened. I failed a lot, man. I really have. But I've also succeeded a lot, so there's that. Yeah, I mean, this. If there's a tip that I would give, or just in general, if you're thinking about moving out, well then, consider prioritizing your job and your own and chasing your dreams more than anything. Like genuinely, like if you already have the plan, you have the vision, you have the plan, follow that, follow your gut instinct, and put yourself willingly in discomfort, and really prioritize getting tough and stronger, and and invest your time, invest your money in yourself. And oh, this is a good one. Like, cover the basics. Like, I got a blender. I got a blender. Like, get the rice cooker, get the blender, whatever makes your life easier. Yeah, sure, it might cost some money, but it'll save you time, saves you energy, and so on and so forth. Like, and avoid distractions if you can. Try to build a routine. Like, really, you need to like. I think the time where you move out is the time where you rebuild your own foundation and your structure as a person, as a human. And it's a very, you need to be very responsible with that, because it's you need to be responsible with that. You need to be responsible with that. Fucking, well, it's important. Fucking, it's important. You gotta take care of yourself, and you gotta make sure that you can be at your best, and become someone that can, go out into the world and conquer, and spread your arms, and allow yourself to be yourself, and not, there's so many things, dude, that I used to freak out about, man, and now I don't. And that's what I want for so many people. That, man, I receive a lot of messages, and I try to get back to people, but I also, to be honest, I don't try to be around, I don't know, social media in general. It's just because it's very fucking, I mean, it's addicting, what can I say? I mean, I'm getting distracted. There used to be a time where I would just not get distracted at all. Like, it's just the focus is the art of not getting distracted. It's of sticking to what you were doing. That's focus. It's not, I don't know. It's like, oh, okay, I want to add. This happened to me today. I was going to add a video. I was going to add a clip. I was going to look for a clip and add it to my vlog. And then I just ended up watching YouTube videos for like an hour and a half. So, not a very focused person as of late, but there's something to be said about finding rhythm, and also like slowly moving the pillar forward. If you're a person that isn't, and maybe I'm just kind of like, like the saying, you're too smart for your own damn good, where like you talk around yourself, or you talk around like what the problem is. Maybe that's what I'm trying to do right here. Like, I'm trying to make up for it. But there's something to be said about like slowly moving the pillar forward. If you're a person that is like an all or nothing kind of person, it's like, if I'm going to start this, I need to finish it, and it needs to be perfect. And that's going to take me so much time and effort and pain. And so every time I think about doing something or starting something, it's just, I can't do it, because it just feels like it's so big. And last time I did it, I was suffering, and it was so stressful, and I'm already working a full-time job, and I'm trying to do good. I'm trying to be disciplined. I'm trying to build habits. I'm trying to do this and that. I'm so stressed already. Now I have to do another fucking huge challenge for myself. Last time, it was so fucking tough. Oh my God. It's like, I'd say two things to that. Number one, it's just really not that tough. Like, it's really not that hard. Like, it's just, maybe it's like emotionally challenging because it's like, ugh, I'm putting something out there and I don't know, it's just, it's scary. Or, I don't know, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Or maybe it really is complex. I mean, at the end of the day, it kind of still is work in a way. I mean, I don't know. And then, number two, it's like, it's just, just do like 1 hour a day. Dan Coe, someone who I really respect, like his ideas and the way, like he's a great writer. He's got great ideas and he's a really great synthesizer. He talks about like how if you work 1 hour, and I agree with this. I mean, if you do like 1 hour a day, at least if you just purely focus 1 hour a day on building something that could change your life, I mean, that's it. And I agree. So yeah, there's parts of that too. So yeah, you could say I've used this whole moving out from home as more like I'm going on an adventure. I'm not moving out of home. Like that's not the whole idea of it. I haven't really thought about it like that. And yeah, I haven't really thought about it at all. You know, it's just like no, I'm just I'm out on a mission. I'm not really. I don't know. So yeah, cover your basics, work on yourself, use the time to really rebuild yourself and become a stable person and a responsible person. It doesn't mean that you should make the mistake I made, that probably a lot of, especially young men, I think, probably do take on. Maybe not just men, but, you know, a young person that takes on the burdens of someone who's older. And I have a friend who, he's a great guy and he's such a funny guy. And I, he's burdened down, man. Like, he's in the world of adults and he's the youngest, and like when I'm around with him sometimes he's just like so funny and it comes out and it's like you could see he's alive again. And then when he needs to get back to work and so on and so forth, like of course he's good at it and he enjoys it, but sometimes it's just like you're adulting too fast. You've got burdens that are too heavy, like you're too young for that. And I've definitely had my share of that. And lately, I went to a concert and I met up with friends, and that was like one of the best things that's ever happened in my life because of those friends. And it's incredible how much your life can change from being a loser in school to then being friends with people you always thought they were really cool. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm having a hard time just whenever I talk into the camera lately. I have a hard time believing what my life is like right now. And yet I still find ways to feel discontent. And in some ways, I want more, and I'm frustrated because I'm not where I want to be yet. Um, I, I really want to make my business be great, and yeah, of course, I want to make the money and so on and so forth. But it's yeah, no, I don't know. I'm missing something. Or probably just not putting in the work. Of course, that's what I'm missing. You know, I don't know. I would also say enjoy the time that you have with yourself. Like make really good use of it. Like be alone, and just drop everything off. Like drop the whole mask and really stay with yourself. You should really embrace and enjoy that privacy that you have now, which is like it's 100% privacy. It's like you leave everything and everybody behind and just that is a gift, man. That's like if you go AWOL, AWOL. I always kind of AWOL, which means like yeah, just disappearing, go ghost mode, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That privacy is real. Like it's 100%. Like enjoy that. Make use of it. Talk to yourself, man. I've talked to myself in the mirror so many times. I've said this before. Like I've slapped myself in the face at times. I've yelled at myself, like wake up, or like, you know, I don't know. Some were unnecessary. Some were very necessary. I don't know. But if you put yourself and yeah, again, back to the adventure part of things, it's like if you put yourself in a position and you mentally burn the bridges, because that's what I did, and actually it's kind of what I wanted. I always felt like I didn't really earn things, or I never really did things on my own, and that, fair enough. That's been in a lot of ways my life for a very long time. Like I was I wasn't very independent, and I guess I've always kind of been aching for that. But obviously, as a people pleaser, you ache for independence, not just emotionally, but I also ached for independence just in general, like, money wise, or as a person. It's like, goddamn, I'm doing good job wise. Like I've stuck with this career for some time now, and I've gotten very, like, pretty good at it. I've gotten pretty decent at it, and it's like, well, shit, I did this on my own, like. And I remember, telling my mom about it, and she was like, "Yeah, you did it on your own." And I was like, "I don't know," and she was like, "Yes, you literally did it." I'm like, "I don't know," but yeah, yeah. Um, if you put yourself, well, anyways, I kind of mentally burned the bridges. I was like, I want to put myself in a position where there is no hand holding, and it's all up, it's all down to me, and I'm gonna do things my way now, and that is something I would also encourage people to do, you know, have trust in yourself that you're gonna figure it out, and figure it out, because you can and you will and you should, and what else? And work out. Really put yourself through some pain. Like really, there's very few things that give you such tangible and direct proof of your own competence when it comes to, like, I'm gonna conquer my own self in a way, and I will grab my feelings, and I'm gonna hold them tightly. I'm gonna say them, no, now we're going further, and kind of taking control, mind over body, but you actually over your mind too. So that will help you a lot. I think it does help, sleep, physical health, routine that gives you enough time in the morning. The biggest reason why, why I woke up at 5 in the morning was because I had time for myself. So I wouldn't, like, get out and just get dressed and then go to work and, be stressed. And when it comes to stress, there will be a point where and I hope this happens to you as well, where you will just have to kind of lock in and pull yourself together. And then you realize you can. So you will not die from emotional pain and stress. You should take care of yourself, of course, and have a break and so on and so forth. But if there's one mindset that I've kept and I still want to keep, actually, especially since we're young, and I'm guessing you're young as well, and we're both in our 20s or so on and so forth, or maybe you just moved out. It's like, I want to be stronger. 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 And yeah, become a more rigid person, like more stress tolerant. There's this great saying by Jordan Peterson, which is like, who do you want to be in your parents' funeral or a loved one's funeral? It's like, do you want to be maybe you would, don't you want to be someone people can lean on, and so on and so forth? Like, something about that that's really, fucking, it's great. Um, so yeah, have that time to yourself, and cherish it, cherish that privacy. Focus on like covering the basics and being stable, and build your routine around your job for a few months so that you can just completely focus on it, and not focus on other things. It's very tempting to put your life first, and I understand, but maybe at first you should do the opposite, and you should just sacrifice some time to do that. Um, I, if there's one thing I wish I would have done sooner in my life, was to stop thinking in days or weeks, and rather like in in months, years, or decades, because time will move faster than you think, and you should. My SD card got full, and you should be able to sacrifice time and the present moment, and get used to that, like sacrificing fun. I mean, yeah, like I was talking about earlier, I deprived myself of fun because I knew I had very bad habits. Um, Now, here are some things which I would say, like, you should not let go of completely, which is, every now and then, rarely, there are times like you should go out and you should meet people, and have a very have a very nice time with someone. That's it. I mean, it's fine, but keeping in mind like what your actual goal is, and I've had the pleasures of meeting some people, and it's been great. But what I've realized is like, okay, I'm kind of headed somewhere else, or at least my priorities are differently at the time being. So it's difficult. Um, there's always you only have so much time and energy, and depending on what your goals are, which I presume are aimed high, well, there are some sacrifices to be made. But for that, if you sacrifice the now, then the future, will look a lot better. And that is certainly my case right now, actually, as well. From what I can tell, like all that time that I spent working on myself, I can now not wreak havoc. Yeah, I benefit from it, So, and I'm really not the most. Like I said, I still suck at reading. For example, I fucking, I don't know, but you can figure it out. Like that's the greatest asset we have as human beings. Like, we can adapt. We can figure things out. Um, Here's an abstract one, but if you're kind of trying to do the same thing I am, or just in general, say no a lot. Like, you're how serious you are about your priorities will be reflected by how often you say no when it comes in conflict with those priorities. Let's say I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna, I'm gonna write a newsletter today. If someone would have said, hey, let's go out or let's do something, and I said, yeah, sure, let's do it, then I'm kind of not respecting my own word and so on and so forth and my priorities. That's something you probably kind of have to learn as well with like, I gotta do laundry or I gotta do this and that. And like, dude, let me tell you something. Like, people will always, 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 whether they mean it in a bad way or not, or like, it doesn't even matter. They will always tell you, bruh, you should just, and it's obviously, it's understandable. Like, they want to hang out with you or whatever. And it's like, dude, like, don't be such a blah, 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 blah. But trust me. And this is like people pleaser 101. Like, fucking say no. Stick to your plan. Stick to the original plan. Now, if it's like if you're already kind of moving, you've got your rhythm, you've got your structure, you've got your routine in a way, and it's a very important thing. There's something to be said about, going there and fucking, showing up. It's important too sometimes, of course. But yeah. I think that's it, figure out ways, build your own systems, you know, how to feed yourself, how to, take care of yourself and so on and so forth. Invest in yourself, like to maintain yourself, to groom yourself, blah, 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 Okay, that's kind of like the basics, I mean, I pretty much eat the same thing almost every day, and I'm fucking happy with it. I'm really happy with it, actually. Well, today, actually, I meal prepped and did it a little bit different and just adding small things. This is one great thing I'd say. Eat whole foods. Don't eat none of that fucking, like, you can have a burger every now and then, but, like, bro, once you start eating whole foods and it's your whole, like, that's your diet, my God, you will never want to go back again. It's so good. You feel amazing. Yeah, there's just nothing there. You cannot argue it. You just can't. Yeah. I think one of the things I'm learning too, is like one of the biggest assets is time. And it's like, life is like a video game, only that you cannot decide when to use your time. But like your focus is how you. How did I write that thing again? I wrote something about it, which is like, focus is your mana, which is like how you. I don't know, just whatever. But yeah, I guess like when you start growing up and stuff, like your time, like you used to have a lot more time, and then you have a job, and then you have less time. But another thing, make your job active time. Don't just go to work and like clock out mentally. Like that's not. No, no, no. Use your job to learn, to build yourself up, to learn discipline, resilience. Why do I always say like discipline and resilience and so on and so forth regarding your job? Because, dude, I worked the first year of my life. I just worked not because I liked coffee or because, like, obviously I was curious about it. I was interested in it, but I didn't do it for the money. That's the point. I wasn't really making much there, and then I spent it all on my girlfriend at the time. The reason I did it was because I knew it's gonna discipline me. I'm gonna have to do things without wanting to, and Yeah, I think that's a theme in life, you know. I feel really shitty with myself when I know I have to do something and then I don't do it because I'm being kind of emotional about it. It's like, oh, I don't want to do it. It's like, oh, you know, obviously we shouldn't, I don't think, live our lives, you know, doing things we don't want to do at a constant, like, you know, if there's a job that you hate, well, you know, don't stay there forever. Like that's the, you know, but yeah, the next level is like the entrepreneurial lane and so on and so forth. But that's for future me, different topic. Um, and yeah, start something, build something, you know. If you don't know what, mm, I'd recommend, like, you know, start a YouTube channel, don't tell a soul about it, and just do the thing. Keeping in mind that you want to be yourself, you know, you want to just be yourself, you know. Um, yep, I think that's it. I mean, you know, um, haven't really, you know, put in much thought about the whole moving out from home and living alone and stuff. Probably gonna have to do that some more and call home and just talk more and stuff. You know, that's, you know, it's a great step in life. You know, it's part of it for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. Keep things simple. You know, don't get too many shit. Don't get too much shit. You know, it's you don't need a bunch of shit. Like there's just, man. Every time I buy something unnecessary, I'm just like fucking. And it's rare that I do because obviously I'm trying to keep things limited and just because it gives you such an ease of mind. You know, like you don't need that much shit. You really don't. At least not now. I mean, you know, fucking the whole idea, you know, in your first few 20s or just in general in your 20s is to build, you know, learn skills, build yourself up, and then, you know, but I think that's what a lot of people don't get, and and because they don't understand that, because they don't think of their because they don't even think about like sacrificing the present moment for a better future. And what does that imply? That implies that you need to put your feelings aside for now and just kind of get to work, um, and you know, it has a lot to do with your attitude. If you just accepted that and you kind of said, all right, I'm going to go into attack mode, you know, mentally, like, dude, what happens is like, it's incredible. Like, it's just incredible what can happen if you get yourself into like attack mode, which is like, just fucking, I'm going to crush whatever comes in my way. Or at least I'm going to do things right. And I'm not going to resist the day. I'm going to actually lean into it, full head on, you know, and, they're just rather concerned with how they feel and how much fun they can have. And not everybody, of course, but there's a lot, you know, there's a lot. And so they're so preoccupied with, you know, if there's one thing I'm very happy about. Nah. Hello. what the fuck? If there's one thing I'm very happy about, it was that I kind of I got out of the school system kind of early, and then, um, and so too that I've always been surrounded by people from all kind of walks of life, and I did a lot outside of school, which has given me a lot of perspective. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are kind of, maybe I'm very wrong about this, I could be very wrong about this, but if what you know life to be is school and then university and then, it's all kind of like a bit of a very linear cycle, and it kind of, I think it lacks perspective. And I'm not completely against universities and so on and so forth, like, fucking, okay, well, I'm not gonna get political, but but what I was trying to say is, oh yeah, so you get to learn a lot because you get to be around people that are far older than you and more experienced than you, and they've been around, and they've, um, and when you're in school and university, it's like this social, the typical like, it's like I remember, like, what was it, like university becomes a fashion runway or something like that. I don't know. I'm guessing it's a very universal experience, like school and stuff like that. It kind of scares me because I'm like, I feel like I'm back in school, and it's like, fucking, maybe nowadays not anymore, but yeah. There's something about that which is like just I don't know. I could also be just completely wrong about this, probably. Probably very wrong. What is it with this microphone, dude? What do you want? I'm probably very wrong about it, yes. What the fuck? Dude. So and lastly, I'd say act as if your faith was real. No, that sounds weird. Act as if you had luck by your side. Do things your way. Have faith. Have faith and act on it. Things will work out. Things happen for a reason. And you've made it this far. You're going to keep making it forward. I'm going to go to sleep now. I hope this video helped you in some ways. If it did, please let me know in the comments. Check out Hero Academy and Letters to a Hero. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see what I'm up to on the daily. I really sound like a YouTuber now. My God, I'm making it such a fucking... All right. Have a good one. Ciao, ciao.